Hey everybody, welcome to session 8 in Engaging Associate Faculty series. My name is Kate Johnson and I'm the manager of faculty engagement. Thank you so much for joining us. And for our Doge Entry Point lead faculty for being here and providing us with this fun activity. I now have a number of shows that I need to catch up on to binge when I have time, so that's fun. For those of you who this is the first time that you have joined us for one of the sessions in this series, thank you so much. Just to give you a real quick background, we wanted to find a way that our full-time faculty can connect with each other and share their plans, their successes, their journeys generally around what they are doing in regards to intentional engagement. I was so excited that this group specifically could share because they're my peeps. I'm a Doge lead faculty. I'm an associate faculty. I am one of their associate faculty. So I have had firsthand experience with the work that they have done. And I must say it's incredible. They're an inspiration for a number of initiatives that I work on in engagement. So without further ado, please welcome Julie Nideffer, Molly Molnar, and Debbie Hailwood.
Thanks, Kate. We are excited to be here and kind of share our journey with you today. But first, we wanted to start by introducing ourselves and letting everyone know who we are. So I'm Julie Nideffer, and I am lead faculty for SSO.
I'm Debbie Hailwood, and I'm the lead faculty for EXP 105.
Hi everyone, I'm Molly Molnar and I'm the lead faculty for Gen 102.
So we are 3 of a mighty full-time team, and we consider our dean, Dr. Justin Harrison, and then our associate dean, Dr. Jeff Hall, part of our team, along with our core faculty. So you can see that there are a lot of us working together that contribute to kind of what we're going to share today as we discuss faculty forums. We are in charge of the entry point courses, which fall in the division of general education. They're called entry point because it's where students enter the university. So SSO is student success orientation, which is an 11-day orientation for students with 0 traditional transfer credits. Students under the age of 22 take SSO, students enrolling in an AA program, and then students who don't pass EXP 105. And then EXP 105 is personal dimensions of education. This is the true entry point. So all of our undergraduate students entering the university take EXP 105, and we have 2 versions of this course. We have one which is called G30, which means that students with greater than 30 transfer credits start with that course. And then we have one that is called L30, which would be less than 30 transfer credits. So they're slightly differentiated to meet learner needs as they enter. And then Molly is the lead for Gen 102, which is digital literacy for life in the workplace. And about 1/3 of EXP students go into Gen 102, and the other 2/3 filter out into their second program course somewhere within the university. So that's a little background on the courses. And then the faculty that we work with, we have an instructor pool, an associate faculty instructor pool that's about 250-ish instructors. Most are approved to teach EXP 105 and Gen 102, and about half of those are approved to teach SSO. And then most of our faculty have a background in education, in counseling or psychology with prior teaching experience. So as we work with students onboarding new students to the university, we found that that's kind of the best fit as we look for faculty. And then what are faculty forums? Faculty forums are monthly gatherings that we have with our faculty, where our full-time faculty, our associate faculty, and others support the FSDA team and our faculty scheduler, our associate dean, kind of come together to meet, and we provide professional development and personal connection. So with that, when we first started on this journey of providing faculty forums, our goals were to kind of help associate faculty feel connected. Way back when, several years ago, we didn't have a CETL. We didn't have kind of the many opportunities that we have now to get connected. And so we wanted to make sure that our pool felt like they were part of a group. We also needed a place to disseminate resources and to clarify expectations. So with our entry point courses, our expectations are slightly different than the minimal Ashford requirements. And so we really wanted to work through faculty with that. So we started by holding monthly forums. We had 2 sessions, a morning session and an afternoon session, and we very loosely tracked attendance. So from there, our goals evolved. We continued to want to work on helping associate faculty feel connected. We needed to continue disseminating resources. We always need to clarify expectations, but we began to see an opportunity to really focus on best practices in instruction and empowering educators. So what we began doing was we started using IQR data to identify areas in need of attention. And that helped shape our agenda items, presentations, guests, things that we started doing in the faculty forum. We created a Google form to track attendance and to also seek feedback to find out what people were thinking about the presentations, what they needed. And then also this served sometimes as a great opportunity for us as we were coaching or providing IQR feedback for faculty to look back and see if there were areas that they were struggling with, if they had been attending the faculty forums, and if not, you know, we could suggest that they begin doing so. We dropped to 1 monthly forum from 2 sessions. We found that the afternoon session, while we wanted to open it up to everybody to attend live sessions, the afternoon sessions just were not well attended. So we've landed on just 1 monthly forum. It's always the 3rd Tuesday of the month and 10 a.m. PST. So we've been very consistent with that, and we have very regular attendance. I would say we get somewhere between 50 and 80 faculty per forum that are in attendance at our live sessions. So we have a really neat group, and we have, you know, met that goal of helping people feel connected. They look forward to those expectations, and now we're really seeing the fruits of our labor and some of the best practices and having instructors feel empowered in their classrooms through examples and things that we're able to provide in these forums. So at the beginning, we were really trying to cater to 2 different groups, because as Gen 102 and EXP 105 came together under the same umbrella, we had 2 separate faculty pools. So at the beginning, we were trying to make sure that we were providing something for our Gen 102 instructors and something for our EXP 105 instructors, and our feedback always at the end of the forum said, well, it was great for the most part, except for that section about EXP 105 because I don't teach it. And Gen 102 was saying, you know, the same thing. So thankfully, our faculty ended up getting approved for both courses, and we didn't have that issue anymore. Everyone was more interested in everything that we were doing. But we really still continue to use that feedback to create our monthly agendas. And we were shifting our focus from separate little mini lessons to instructional practices and resources that could scale across courses. So I'm going to use damage control, Kate. When CETL first started sending out a bunch of information and resources, faculty was overwhelmed, and it was hard to determine who it was coming from, if it was obligatory, if they were supposed to do it. And so a lot of our forums focused on kind of re-clarifying our expectations. What of that was useful in entry point? What of it was useful for further down the road or different courses? We want to make sure that we're providing the best information for students in our courses. And so we were kind of running damage control on some of those things that were coming out, asking our faculty to prioritize the monthly faculty forum with us over other opportunities that were being offered. And so with that, I'm going to pass off to Debbie and let her continue with kind of the next evolution as to where we went.
We survey our faculty at the end of when they view the recording or when they've attended the faculty forum. We send in the recording and we say, also please log your attendance. We give them an opportunity to let us know what did they like about that session, what did they maybe not like about that session, what are some things that they want to see us cover in future sessions. So it's helpful for us to get that really quick feedback. It allows them to feel as part of the community, but also it allows us to very quickly hear their thoughts. So some of the things that we discovered through that survey is that our faculty want practical, applicable information. They want to be able to take what it is that we're giving them and to put it directly in their classroom. Of course, they want to feel as though they're part of the Ashford community. They want to hear from not just us, but from around the university. They want to know what's going on. They want to feel better prepared to do their jobs. Some of them, most of them have taught in some capacity, but many of them haven't taught in an online environment or at a college or at a college level. And so it's an opportunity to give them instructions, tips, modeling from not just our classrooms, but maybe each other's as well. They want to feel a sense of satisfaction. They want to hear some of the good stories. They want to know what's going on that's that makes them feel as though what they're doing is making a difference. And they also want to make sure that they're getting a variety of topics, not going to be the same thing over and over again, or we're not spending the entire session on one topic. We like to change it up throughout the session, throughout the forum. Some things that they don't want is too much fluff. We've tried, for instance, doing a book club in the past. It was a great idea. Our faculty just weren't into it. They didn't have enough time to read. Some of them enjoyed it and didn't follow along with the books. Others maybe didn't have that time. Sometimes they just want, just give us the practical, applicable stuff. They don't like anything that's overly theoretical. Again, they want the practical, applicable. And our faculty don't want things that are not specific to teaching their class. So we do our best to make sure that we are giving them course-specific information. All right, let's see here. Oops, too many. Okay, so what does that look like? We bring in experts from around the university. We bring in enrollment and advisement, for instance. We've had our faculty scheduler speak to them, which is great because they got a chance to ask some of those questions that maybe they've been nervous about asking. Things like, what happens if I get sick or if I can't take a class? Does that put me on the blacklist? Academic integrity and other individuals from around the university. Our faculty really enjoy having those presentations, those one-on-one presentations, because then they can ask questions versus the giant, 200 plus sessions where they kind of feel a little bit nervous about asking specific questions. We try to foster engagement community icebreakers like we did in this session to get people started, especially if they're new to teaching, new to our forums. They might not know each other yet. It's a great way to get them started to chat, and then it kind of evolves from there. We encourage the chat feature, and what happened there? And asking questions, incorporating feedback, again, like I said. I'm not going to harp too much on the practical, but we have had a lot of feedback from, when we share instructional tips. I do a series on Canvas hacks. Our faculty just can't get enough Canvas hacks. Things that are going to make their teaching experience better, easier, more efficient. And then, of course, success stories. We share Facebook posts, graduation stories. We share pictures and things like that. Okay, now let's go on to the next slide. I don't know why it's not moving. Let's try it one more time. Okay. So a couple other things we do is we start the year off with kind of a beginning of year kickoff. We set up our goals and expectations for the year. We do this with all of our associate faculty. We'll even send out maybe a letter just to remind them, hey, watch this forum because this is kind of our kickoff for the year. We do an end of year wrap up, which we include our associate and executive deans. We really want to make sure that they get a chance to hear directly from our leadership. Again, that makes them feel as though they're a part of the college. They know who our deans are. They can point them out. They can feel comfortable with that. We try to be very transparent with IQRs. This year-end wrap up, we will actually sit down and talk with them about, in our opinion, this is where, if you're scoring this on your IQRs, then you're considered non-preferred preferred or preferred plus. We even give them a breakdown of, throughout this past year, our faculty mostly scored in this area. This is what the average was, median. That way they can kind of see where they fall amongst the entire pool, and it gives them an opportunity to see, okay, you know what, I need to step it up next year, or kind of like, I'm doing great. Like, that makes me feel better about where I am. And then we give them a kind of a bigger survey, a much more thoughtful questions, maybe about 15 questions at the end of the year, and that helps guide our goals for the beginning of the following year. So this year we started something just a little bit new, because we've been doing our faculty forums every month for several years now. We've started to realize, hey, we can back off every month, and we're now gone to every other month of faculty forums, and then the alternating months we send out a newsletter. And we use that newsletter as an opportunity to include information, introduce them to new team members, give them new Ashford resources. For instance, in this example, this was from April, we provided them with a military support resource that we had created for the SSO revision. We give them an update on the WASP reaffirmation visit. We introduced them to our new faculty scheduler. But we also use this as an opportunity to share professional development opportunities that we've curated, we've seen. They're maybe not necessarily Ashford specific, but they've still stood out to us. So for instance, articles, links, this one has a podcast episode, maybe a TED Talk or a past video. It's a way to introduce them to maybe resources that aren't specific to Ashford, so that they can go out and say, hey, you know what, that's really cool. I might continue to explore that website or that podcast and see how it's applicable. It's also a way to model to them how they can incorporate those outside resources in their own teaching. And give them a wide variety. We want to make sure our faculty stay intellectually curious, so we want to give them those resources too. All right, I'm going to hand it off to my colleague over here.
What I'm going to be going over today is actually how you would go ahead and plan a faculty forum. We wanted to give you guys kind of all of the things that we have learned help promote engagement, help get that 50 to 80 faculty members there, and what we find really works. Okay, so the first thing is just kind of the timeline, and then I'm going to show you some examples from each. But we send out a save the date, even though we have our faculty forums at the same third Tuesday of the month, every month or every other month. We still send out save the date because we have to create that new Zoom link. So they have the Zoom link, and then they also have kind of that preview of the agenda. They know what's going to happen. They know what we're going to be talking about, and they can start preparing about 1 to 2 weeks out. And then we send a reminder email about 24 hours in advance. Sometimes we also send one about an hour before, just as a quick, hey, we're starting in an hour. Again, here's the link, just because we know they're busy. And then we will hold the faculty forum, do the recording. And then after that, we're going to have a wrap-up communication, and that's going to have the recording on there and the PowerPoint and things like that. So we wanted to just give you an idea of who we're sending this communication to, because sometimes you don't think of maybe all the people that would be involved, but we would put in the to-line all of our faculty responsible for leading the forums, which would be the lead faculty, and anyone else that might be involved. Then we would include any of the presenters, so anyone that we've invited from the university or outside the university. We're going to copy all of our full-time faculty, so our entire team, our dean, Jeff Hall, all of those people, and also our faculty scheduler, and the FSDA team as well that works directly with us and with our faculty. They all know each other. And again, this faculty forum is a chance for all of them to interact again and engage, because they're already engaging via email, so just another opportunity for everyone to get together. And then we always blind copy our associate faculty pool. And the reason being is we don't want respond all, reply all to everyone or questions. So that's become a consistent practice, just to make sure that we're protecting our associate faculty from a flood of emails and also just responses. So here's an example of a save the date and just a couple things that I wanted to point out. So this would be what we would send out about a week or two out, depending on when you get it all together, and usually it depends on when we've solidified our agenda. So we do put that agenda up because our faculty likes to know, okay, I'm going to get my Canvas hacks. Oh, I really wanted to know about working with accessibility in the classroom. I'm really curious about this. And then sometimes we'll get questions. Hey, are you guys going to cover this? And we use that housekeeping section to cover anything that may be confusing, stuff we've got a lot of questions on, new things that come up. We'll often have Dr. Jeff Hall come in and address things that are university-wide, like the WASC affirmation visit, something like that. But we really cover everything during those, during that agenda, or what we cover in the agenda. We're really gonna make sure that we cover that during the faculty forum so they know exactly what's gonna happen. And then this is an example also of kind of an engagement opportunity. So this was an instructor challenge that Julie put out with her forum. And it just kind of got instructors thinking about how they could get involved, what they can think about, and what they can bring to the forum. Okay, and then here's the example of our follow-up email. Now, if we don't send this out within 24 to 48 hours, Julie, Debbie, and I start getting emails, and they say, where's my recording? Where's my PowerPoint? Because they know that it's coming, and they want that anyone that isn't able to attend. So like we said, we have about 250 faculty. If 80 attend, the rest of them know that the recording's important and they want it. So we send this out afterwards. We usually send kind of a wrap-up of what we've done. We send out the entire PowerPoint presentation, and then anything else that we maybe want to remind them about. And the one thing that I wanted to just make a little note of for anyone that's done any type of training in Zoom is the faculty forum is going to record in Zoom, but you get that link and you can record it to the cloud or to your computer, but it disappears after 30 days. So make sure that you're going to YouTube and uploading it to YouTube. Otherwise it will disappear. Okay, we talked a little bit about the attendance survey, and you might think that's just oh, I attended, I was there, but actually we ask them a couple of questions during it.
We do ask people what they liked, how they would rate it overall, and thankfully people usually enjoy the forum. That's positive, but because we've developed such a working, kind of a great relationship with our faculty, they're very honest in the feedback that they provide. So they do let us know what they did not like, what they don't want their time wasted, what bothers them. So it's a really great way for us to kind of weigh in how we need to do things differently and what we can do better and what we need to continue doing to help meet their needs. And then we've now created, Molly's kind of headed this up, and a Canvas space for entry point instructors. So in addition to getting the recording, now we're posting everything on our shared Canvas space along with resources and things like that. So we are evolving along with all of the tools that CEDAL is providing us to kind of help funnel that outreach and communication. So that kind of wraps up where we're at, but we did want to open up to questions and then have an opportunity. We have a few minutes left for people to share, what they're doing, things that are similar, different, what works, any tips, that you found as you work with faculty.
Julie, if I can pose a question to the team. When you started the engagement forums with the faculty forums, did you immediately have, such a high turnout? How has that, the number of faculty who attend, have you maintained that over a period of time? How has that engagement level changed since you started?
Yes, I would say that we've had pretty consistent. I mean, our faculty pool has grown once we combined, but we have pretty consistent attendance throughout the year. We have a dip usually in the summer when people are on vacation. There are months that we just can count on being lower attended, but we have always had that engagement. And I think that's part of people wanting to make sure that they're on track and they feel like which we don't want them to feel this way, but I think they feel like if they don't attend, they might miss out on something, and then they might not be offered classes. You know, I mean, there's just so much ambiguity where people don't really know, if you're not on the inside, how things work. They don't know that we're like fighting to find people to teach the classes. So we really do have that consistent engagement. And again, it has to do with responding, I think, to the feedback and catering to their needs, making sure that they do see the value in what we're presenting. So
I would agree with that. I think including the recording as well as asking for their feedback has been really important, because when we went down to only one session a day instead of giving the opportunity for the morning and the afternoon, when we went down to the one, we realized that we're going to lose some people, because some people they have a job during the day and they can't, we have a lot of teachers and what have you, so they can't take that hour out. But it gives them the opportunity to catch up on their own time, but also to continue to engage in a way that gives feedback and that sort of thing. So that was really helpful. And I also give a shout out to Jeff, because Jeff, used to be the faculty member before he was associate dean. He was the faculty member in charge of Entry Point, and he had set up a really good, as he says here, he was a one-person show. He had set up a really strong system of, he started this, with the 2 sessions a day, and had a nice pool of people who would consistently show up. And so we continued it and kind of grew it from there, and brought in some of these other ideas too. So I think he had started that ball rolling for us.
And then I know that you sometimes offer the opportunity for your associate faculty members to present at your forums. How do you determine when you have an associate faculty member present? How do you decide who should present and when?
It is an open invitation. We do encourage any associate faculty member that wants to present, that has a topic that aligns with, our goals and topics, to contact us. But we also think of associate faculty members, since we know our pool and we do the IQRs, we can say, oh, this person's really interested in this. Maybe we can invite them to speak on this topic or something like that, as well as our full-time faculty. Because we do have such a big team, we have a wealth of information, and so we all kind of take turns. It's not like one of us is speaking for the whole time. We really have a variety of speakers and kind of limit that time so they get a lot of different viewpoints.
Right, and that's probably a good point too, is we rotate which of the leads hosts that month, but that person is just hosting. They're not necessarily presenting the whole time. They're just transitioning and doing what Kate's doing. I think Julie makes a good point too. She said in the chat that when we coach and have a low IQR score, we can stress to that particular associate faculty the importance of attending the forums, and having that attendance survey is a really nice little piece too, because when we see there's a low IQR, we can check in to see have they been attending or not. Molly made a comment earlier too about how sometimes we can edit, like if it's uploaded to YouTube, we're able to save like clips of our forums, so we can use that as instructional resources. So when we're doing an IQR, we can actually link that particular, maybe it's 4 minutes on instructive feedback or something. We can link that directly in our QR, and that can be very helpful as well.